Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury beauty. And I have to say that this year we have had so many releases in the first few months. So I kind of wanted to go back through everything that I have purchased so far in 2022 and what my favorite items are, which purchases really stand out to me and that I, keep reaching for, can't stop thinking about, even though new stuff still keeps coming out. So we are going to go ahead and take a look at my favorite purchases so far this year. And towards the end, we're also going to have like my very, very, very favorite, my top 7. So let's go ahead and start off with everything that I thought was just absolutely fantastic and still had to be on my favorite list. We're going to start off with the Chickaholder F09 brush. This is a great powder brush. You can see it's pretty large, it's fluffy. I'm really enjoying using this for powder. I use it for pressed powder or loose powder, but I just like to loosely dust my face with it. And I just love how incredibly soft this is. So if you're looking for a really soft, fluffy powder brush, this is a great one. And I have a video with this brush that has comparisons, so I'll leave that down below in the description box. Moving on, I wanted to talk about Suku. Suku had a fantastic launch this year. They released some new permanent items like this eyeshadow palette in 08. They also released a 07 and I believe 112 was the limited edition one. 08, and I also really like the 112, but 08 is my favorite. And I think it's a great addition to the permanent lineup. The shadows are smooth, they're seamless. There's something special about Suku shadows. They are subtle, sophisticated, yet still have this like glow to them. So they're really gorgeous. And along with those, they also released a brand new series of blushes that are permanent. So we have the, this one here is 01. And these, I believe they're called the Glow Powder Blushes. So this one here, this lilac shade, there's also a yellow shade, number 5. These are meant to be more mixers. So this is kind of your cooler mixer. The number 5 is more of a yellow mixer, and you can blend them with the other blushes. This one here is 02. And you can see how nicely these go together. So you can kind of blend those, kind of cool it off, give it a slightly different tone. So I love cool colors. So mixing the 01 with some of the other blushes just gives a really great, like a different look to it. And I love that versatility. I think it was really smart of them to add those like mixer shades into the blush collection. Also, they released a couple of new sheer matte lipsticks. They released some limited edition shades as well as some permanent shades. This one here is number 11. So this shade here, you can see it's nude with a touch of dusty rose in it. And this shade is one that I wear all the time. The sheer mattes, you can see they go on very sheerly, but you can build it up to a more opaque matte as well. It's just a really beautiful color. And this is permanent. Moving on, I've been really enjoying the Fit Glow Corrector and Concealer. And I like them because they are, easy to use. You don't get too much product up on the wand. This is the concealer. And they end up like lasting all day without any creasing or gathering. And they just, they perform the way they're supposed to. So I'm really enjoying these. I've been reaching for these a ton. I don't always use the corrector. I have the peach one, but the concealer in shade C1 I use constantly. While we're on base products, I've really been using the Cle de Peau Brightening Enhancer Veil a lot. This is going to be a glowy primer, and I like this one because it still performs like a primer with increasing longevity. Even though it's glowy, it's going to add like some glow to your foundation, to your look, but it's not going to look greasy and it doesn't break down over time. So I haven't had any issues with it. And it also has some SPF, which is always a bonus, even though I personally wear separate sunscreen as well. So I've been really enjoying this. It is small, it's 30 milliliters, but honestly, the packaging makes it look smaller than it is because most primers are 30 milliliters. And then we also have the Givenchy Prism Libra Skin Caring Matte. And I really like this. It's a nice matte foundation, but personally I like to mix it with the Glow foundation to get kind of that satin finish. So I'm really just enjoying both of those foundations in different combinations, but most of the time I will mix them and get like that perfect finish for me. Moving on to some Chanel favorites. This is the Brun Rouge C blush that came out at the beginning of the year. This is the Blush Lumiere, and you can see that it's like a highlighter type blush. And there is a permanent blush that is similar in shade, just not quite as luminous. I can't remember off the top of my head what that's called because I don't have that one, but I do have a video that discusses that, and swatches I've seen, like the colors are almost the same. So I really like this one. I like how it's got kind of those reddish undertones, which makes it work well for me without looking like dirty or muddy on my skin. So this is definitely one that I've found to be a favorite. While we're talking about blush, we have a Dior Blush Too. This is the Rose Dentel shade that came out with the spring collection. And I'm not sure if this is still available, but you can see that if you have fair skin like me, this is just one of those like everyday natural looking like peachy pink blushes. And that's why I like it, is just because in particular, this shade works so well for me. The actual formula is nothing special. It's actually a little bit more powdery than some of the Dior blushes I have, but it goes on well, it performs well. I think it's a beautiful color. So I reach for this one a lot, as you can probably tell since the CD is pretty much worn off. Another product I'm really enjoying for blush, for cream products, this is the Miracle Balm in Flushed from Jones Road. And I have to say, I'm not a huge Miracle Balm person, but let's put this here. This Flush shade is stunning. So if you want like something balmy on your cheeks and you just want that flushed look, this is it. So this is definitely something I'm going to use a ton during the summer. And when I don't really feel like putting on too much makeup, I've been wearing this a lot as well. So I'm really enjoying this product. And although this is very new and it's not released everywhere yet, this is the Tom Ford Soleil Sheer Cheek Duo in Eclat Nude. And I've been really enjoying this. Even though I haven't had this that long, I know that this is going to be something I use all the time. So this is top, bottom, and mixed. And it's just, the shades in here go on so well. It does have that sheerness, that luminosity to it that's going to make it really easy for use during the summer as well. So I already know that this is one I'm going to be using a ton, so I had to include it here today. Next, we have the Givenchy press powders, which are not available in the US, but I purchased mine from Feel Unique, which ships to US with free shipping still. And this one here, Satin Blanc, I purchased the 3 lightest shades. There are 6 shades that range in various skin tones. And, you know, it looks like I haven't used this much, but that's because I typically use a powder brush like the F09 with it. But I have been using it. It comes with this cute little brush clipped in here. I do find the brush a little bit hard to get out, but honestly, I don't use the brush, so it's not a big deal for me. And I just think, you know, packaging is really well designed. The shades are really well designed. And if you are a fan of the loose powder, the press version, you know, I love press versions because they are less messy and it's really easy to get just a tiny bit of product. It's also, if you like to isolate the shades, it's easier with the press versus the loose. So I think overall, this is just a winner all the way around. Now on to some of my favorite lip products. This year we had the Dior New Rose. This is the lip balm from Dior. And this was a limited edition shade, but I have to say the lip balms in general are on my list. They have these satin lipsticks or lip balms like this one, as well as matte lip balms. And I think the Dior matte lip balms are probably the best matte lip balms that I've used. I really like those if you're looking for something more matte. And I'm really enjoying the satin ones too. They're very thin, they're sheer, they're buildable. They're a little bit on the waxier side, but I'm really enjoying them. In addition, Chanel released new balms as well. This one here is Natural Charm, and this is number 914. And these are not quite as waxy. They're a little bit more, they're not oily, but they're a little bit more of a different type of emollient, like almost creamier in texture than the Dior. But I think they're both really great, and I really like both of them. They can both get very pigmented depending on the shades you get. And I feel like the Chanel ones actually provide more pigment than the Dior in general. And Chanel and Dior also released new lipsticks that I had to include on here. We have the Chanel Reusaler Electre lipsticks. If you are looking for something that is ultra pigmented and actually remains on your lips, feels comfortable, looks fresh, and still has that luminosity without like drying to a matte stain, this is the product for you. So this is 838 Rose Audacia. And I absolutely love the formula of these. They are expensive. They're refillable. The refillable thing, you know, no need to talk about it again, but I talk about it in my video. I really like the way these perform though. And I have to say, I really think they're great. Dior also came out with refillable lipsticks, and I think they did the refillable concept a little bit better than Chanel, although I wouldn't say that either of them are perfect in that arena, but I think Dior did a really excellent job with their refillable concept. There are also 3 cases you can buy separately. This denim one's my favorite. And this is the Addict lipstick, which is not a new lipstick per se, but it has been reformulated to be a little bit more natural. So this one here is going to be shade 418 Beige Oblique. And I have to say, I like how Dior has the refillable name written here. Chanel, you actually have to take off the insert and look at it because it's down here in the case. So I find that kind of annoying. I also like how Dior with the new Addict lipsticks, you can buy the refill or you can buy one with a black case for the same price as normally, but the black cases have been redesigned to be more eco-friendly, which is really great. Couple more lip products. We've got the Valentino Nude lipstick. So these are mattes. This is my first time trying Valentino, and this shade here, 123R. This is my favorite. I have to say I wear this all the time because it's just like the perfect mauvey rose nude kind of shade for me. I wear it constantly and I really like the formula. So I'm looking forward to picking up more of those from the Sephora sale. I also picked up a Valde lipstick, and this is in shade Curiosity. This is satin, and you can see the tones here are pretty similar. This is a little bit rosier than the Valentino, but I really like it. Now, this is an expensive case. The refills are, you know, they are comparable to other luxury refill prices. This is something that's more of like a special splurge item. I'm not going to be buying like a whole bunch of these, but I'm really happy with the one I have, and I particularly like this color. So if you're looking for a really nice pricey gift, this might be that. But you know, it's a very expensive case if you don't want to switch out refills all the time. And then we have the Givenchy. This is the new liquid lip balm. And this is shade 210 Pink Nude, or Nude Pink. I forget which way they have it. I think it's Pink Nude. But I really like this. It gives your lips like a plump, juicy look to them. Yeah, there's no like overwhelming fragrance to them. And they do have skincare benefits in them. And I think this shade is just, I mean, you can see it. I have a type. It goes in with those. So these are all favorites of mine from this year that I absolutely had to include on this list, but I have a top 7 that we've not discussed yet. So let's go ahead and talk about these. Now, I do have videos on everything featured in this already. This is the Natasha Denona Pastel palette. This is not going to be for everybody, but I have to say that this is definitely a palette that I really like. And these are 3 of my favorite colors. So we've got Adriatic, Duet, and Bubble. And I just think they are fresh, they're fun to play with, and they, perform really well. So we've got a matte and 2 shimmers. This one's here is actually a sheer multi-chrome. And you're not really seeing the shift here right now, but it shifts like pink, purple, aqua. These colors here, it has that shift in that shadow. And I just think it's absolutely stunning. So this, I still super excited about this palette. So I had to include this on my top 7. Some other eyeshadows I'm absolutely loving are the Phytosurgence Weathered Woods collection. And I tried Phytosurgence last year for the first time. These are cream shadows. They're a thin cream. They're almost like a slightly creamier version of the Chantecaille Mermaid shadows. They feel like a little bit, not quite as dry as those, but the firmness is comparable. This one here is Oxidized Olive. Now, performance-wise, these are the best cream shadows I've ever used. So they actually, to me, they are equivalent to the Cle de Peau cream blushes, but for eyes, because they go on, they're weightless on the eyes, they don't crease. I think they would work really well for oily lids. The people I know who've tried them with oily lids have absolutely loved them. This one here is Pewtered Pine. And this new collection has these cooler neutrals, which, I absolutely love. So these shadows from Phytosurgence, absolutely phenomenal. Other shadows on my top 7. Any guesses? On my eyes today, we have the Tom Ford Metalist Quad. So the Metalist Quad, not only is the packaging stunning because you've got this gorgeous, chrome to white ombre, but the actual shadows here, it's a new formula. They go on so well. You've got kind of these cooler neutrals. These 2 are actually my favorite shades here. But let me go ahead and swatch these. These metallics, I really like them. Now, they can be a little, like when you're applying them, they can be a little bit messy depending on how you do it. Like I can feel sometimes some little particles dropping, but I haven't had an issue with like a mess on my face or anything falling during the day. They're packable. So whatever base they're in, if you press it in, it kind of stays there. And look at those colors. They're gorgeous shimmery nudes. And I just think that they are stunning. They're like classics, but updated with a sparkly twist. So this is like one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes of all time. It's been really hard to get, but I absolutely love it. So hopefully they will restock it again. I just think it's stunning. And I have to say it's the only eyeshadow I ever wear that my husband actually comments on. So he really likes that one, which is unusual for him to notice. Next up, I had to include the Westman Atelier Cream Blush in Mimi. This was a shade I missed last year when it came out because it was part of the holiday box. But it's this beautiful, I mean, look how it compares with my lipstick shades. It's this beautiful, like, rosy nude shade for the cheeks. And I really like the Westman Atelier cream blushes. I don't think that they are necessarily that unusual from other formulas, but they've got some really great colors and they perform really well. They're definitely up there in my favorite cream blushes. I do have a video ranking my cream blushes if you haven't seen it yet, but you can kind of see like how different ones, go on and so forth. And I have to say Mimi is my new favorite. So prior to that, the peachier one, which was called Chouchette, that was my favorite, but that's like a peachier version of this. This one's a little bit rosier, and Mimi has taken its place, and I find myself reaching for this a lot. So I had to include this on my top 7. And then we've got a couple more lipsticks. We have the Guerlain Legendary Reds collection. So this, they have 3 satins and 3 matte shades that are all part of, they're all reminiscent. This is shade 1830 in the satin. They're basically copying their original shades. Like not necessarily, well, one is the first lipstick shade that they created, and one of them is, and that's, I believe this one, 1830. And then they have ones that they created for like momentous occasions throughout the years. So 3 different shades in 2 different finishes for a total of 6. This is the matte version. And Yeah, I had to, I'm sorry, this is the matte version. This is the satin version. And you can see, you know, they're absolutely stunning. The great thing about them is they seem to really have a mix of undertones in them so that they work well on way more people than you would expect them to. Like these like orangey shades, I like never like on me. But this shade here, 1830, this is my favorite. So the matte version, I would recommend over the satin just because with the matte, if you want the satin look, put on the matte and then top it with a gloss or a balm and you're gonna get kind of the same effect and you don't have to purchase both. But I have to say, I love all of them and I wear all 6 of them. They are all stunning and they had to be at the top of my list here along with a couple more. We have 2 more items. I have to say these 7, they're not ranked in any particular order, but next up we have the DVN or Dries Van Noten lipsticks. So I picked up 4 of these. I had to get the 4 cases. This is my favorite case. And on my lips, I'm actually wearing one of them. I have on this one, which is, what's this one called? This is Satin 60. I can't remember what the name is off the top of my head, but this is the shade that's on my lips right now. They have satin finishes, they have matte finish, and they also have a sheer finish as well as a clear lip balm. So I picked up one of everything except for the clear lip balm. I ended up getting 2 satins instead. And I have to say, I'm really loving them. This is the sheer shade, and I picked up, this one's the lightest one. This is gonna be in number 3. And just like the Chanel, you gotta pull this out to see your color, which I find to be annoying. I don't like that, but I absolutely love these. Not only for the cases, which are stunning, they also have a great message. You know, the company has worked well with figuring out, you know, different things that they're not just your traditional shades. They're trying to mix things up a little bit. You know, you've got various different undertones in them. They've launched fragrances, which I have to say, I already purchased a full size of the Neon Garden. I'm also going to get a full size of Santal Greenery. I really love them. I'm not a huge fragrance person, so that's like huge for me. But you know, their packaging and so forth. They've worked on sustainability and so forth. So all of that's great. The formulas are fantastic. Just like I was discussing with the Chanel Reusaler Electre, how you get something really pigmented that just lasts on your lips. These do as well. So the mattes I find to be really intriguing because they feel like a more powdery matte, but not like those dry powdery mattes. It's different. And yet they feel more hydrating on my lips. They go on nicely. They feel like they're intended to like be patted on for like that soft, like more blurred effect, or you can build them up as well. But I just think that they're just better. So I'm really happy with the Dries Van Noten lipsticks, and I already have a second round picked out of what I'd like to order. I'm just going to wait a little while because obviously I've gotten a lot of lip products recently. And then last up, we have the Chanel La Comète blush in Pêche Cosmique. And yeah, you know, I didn't think this would be anything special. It doesn't really show up that much on your skin, but it just gives you this luminosity to your skin that basically works as like a subtle highlight. I like to use this underneath blush, and I have it on today. I don't have any additional highlight on. I just have it on underneath my blush. And you can see that it's made everything luminous. The blush I have on today is another one that would have made it to this list, but I bought this in December. So this is the Hermès in 37 Rose Poivre, and it's just a stunning shade. So let's put that right here so you can see that. But it's just another one of those great shades there. So I think that's stunning. But I really like how the Pêche Cosmique just kind of gives you that radiance without any shimmer particles or, you know, anything that's like glittery or sparkly. It really looks more like you have a natural radiance. And that's what I love it for. I think that's where it really shines. And I use it almost every day. So I had to include that in my top 7. So I hope this video was helpful. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Again, I have all of these items listed in the description box. And I have videos on all of these items. So if you're looking for more information on any of them, definitely check out the actual video for those products. And I would love to hear what your favorites are. So please share them with me in the comments, and I will see you very soon. So have a great day and stay safe and healthy.